All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Uh, I'm back and I'm building the Kijimi uh, polysynth from the Black Corporation. Um, I started building this thing, I don't know, God, it's been years now. Maybe has to be at least a year or 2 years now ago that I kind of started it. I'm going to kind of, because I'm getting back into it, I'm going to just give an overview and also talk about why I ended up taking a break like this. So I got everything and started building, and it was going extremely well. My solders look great. I did the tiny resistors and all that. Those went pretty well. Some of them a little ugly, but not bad. They look good anyway. And I got to the main board, I guess it's called. I'm not sure. The one with basically all the knobs, the interface board. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe controller board or something like that. Okay. So I got there. Oh, and by the way, here, just let me show you quickly what I'm talking about. Before I just start rambling about technical stuff, let's look at it. Can I get over here? Okay, that's it. Okay, we'll go to this one. Okay, so this is the Black Corporation website, and this is the Kijimi. So I'll go ahead and zoom in on that one. Okay, so what we're looking at is the faceplate, and this is the part that I'm talking about now. I can't remember the name of this. Maybe controller board or something. The actual circuit board. We'll look at it in a second. But basically, what happened is what you were supposed to do is put all the components, all the potentiometers and buttons and things into here. Can I change this to this? Into the board, right? You're supposed to put them all in there, and then what you're supposed to do is put this black faceplate that has all the labeling and everything down over it, and then flip it over, and then solder it in place because everything is perfectly aligned. Well, I was doing this stuff for hours on end, in like 6-hour periods and things, and you get loopy. And what happened for me is I just spaced out, didn't think about that part, put all the pots and everything in, lined them up how they fit in the board really well, didn't put the faceplate on, and started soldering away. Well, here I'm going to switch back here. Well, what happened subsequently was terrible. So what happened is the board, the faceplate wouldn't fit on there basically. Things were slightly off in alignment and things that it would bind. Okay? So I was really demoralized by that because, then I didn't have the equipment to kind of, get I didn't have a desoldering iron and all that stuff. So eventually ended up getting the desoldering iron, all that kind of stuff, and started desoldering. Then I found out that the main posts, the big thick posts that are kind of not electrical but the anchors for the pots, they're really wide, and I had put a ton of solder on there to make it really stable. Boy. So the first problem was none of the desoldering iron tips would actually fit over a diameter that size. They were too big. So then I ended up drilling out my largest one so it would actually fit. But then what I would find is when I would start to desolder those anchor points, that they were just there was so much solder on there, and they were sitting there so well that it was really difficult to pull out all the solder. Okay, so fast forward in time a little bit, I ended up desoldering a bunch of connections. All the buttons I was able to desolder no problem, which was great. That ended up being the linchpin. So I desoldered all the push buttons, not the pots. And what ended up happening is when I fiddled with it, if I leave the buttons out, I can then put on the faceplate with all the pots in place, which is great. It's a little tough, but you can get on there. And then what I'm finding is if I then put the buttons in individually, I can finesse this thing on there. So that was kind of a hallelujah moment, okay? Because I was like, at first I was demoralized. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to buy an entire new board, all the new components, and rebuild this thing or something, or just give up. I don't know. I was in a stage of giving up at that point. I was so demoralized. So anyway, that's where I'm at there, and that made me really happy. So I think there is a path forward. I'm a little grumpy because it's still kind of, tight in there, and it doesn't fit exactly like I want. And some of it, there's things about it. So, but I think it's going to be completely usable and it's going to work. So I have to just give up, accept that it's going to work that way. The faceplate will go on, and I'm making peace with that, and I'm going to do it. So let me go back to this composite picture again. Oops, wrong one. This one. Okay, great. There we are. Here, I can go back here. So what I was talking about are those, the push buttons and the knobs. Okay, so got those. Those are going to go on. I think that all is going to line up. What I have left to do on there are the LEDs for like the sign, triangle wave, those kind of ramp. There's like two rows of LEDs. And there are just a few two diodes and one capacitor that I think I bought my component kit from SynthCube. They left a few pieces out that were missing, and I had since written them, and they shipped those to me in the mail. So I have those parts. I think there's just 3 parts there to put in. I still have, like I said, those 2 rows of LEDs. I have the OLED screen needs to go in. And then also, I think there's like that headphone jack, and then also the on-off toggle button. And the reason I'm waiting on those is because there's some level of spacing to deal with. Like once you have the faceplate on, those LEDs have to poke up through, so I have to get the distance right to push them through, so they're not too far through, so the plate can't go on, and they're not too far recessed, so they're like down too far in the holes, things like that. So there are these weird little spacing configurations. That's what's, that I have to really think through before I go ahead and set this in finally and do the final steps for this board. So, okay, great. So that said, maybe what I'll do is just do a bit of a review. This is for myself and for anyone else building this project and working on this. So let's start here. These are what are these actually called? I believe these are the this is the breakout board. This is basically the board that goes on the back of the kijimi. There, let me see if I can get this in focus. And this has all the things like the MIDI ports, the USB, the power. I think there's a headphone jack or something back there. Okay. This one is the one that came with the kit. I had already built this one. Okay. Now, the other part of this story, before I show you the other piece, is that I decided subsequently there was a bunch of problems with the first generation of voice cards. A lot of people I saw on the Kijimi build group on Facebook, they had a lot of problems getting all of the cards up and running and getting them to calibrate and things like that. Obviously, I haven't made it to that step. And they had like some hacks to, run jumper wires from different resistors and things to get, some known issues out of the boards. Since I drugged my feet, and it's been like a year, they've subsequently come up with a version 2 of the voice card. So I went ahead and dove in on those and ordered them, and they came in the mail. And then I kind of went through the version 1 and the version 2 build of materials to see if I could salvage any of the components from the first build. I think there were a few resistors and things that I could. I did a when I got the version 2 cards, I did a big, super detailed comparison of that, and I think I salvaged some from the old cards, and then I then ordered whatever was remaining that it wouldn't cover. So I've done that. I have all the new components for the new version 2 voice cards. And at the same time, they had released a new breakout board, which is this one. This is, it still says, I guess, the same version or what have you, but apparently there's a bunch of bug fixes. I can't remember exactly what those are off the bat now because it's been a while, but I will at some point show you those. Here, trying to get this in focus. There, it's focusing now. And you can see some of these are surface mount. So I bought this one pre-built, ready-made. It is not a build that I've done. Those are some surface mount, a bunch of surface mount stuff on there. And so this was the board with the, I guess, bug fixes from the original. So I'm planning on not using this board that I originally chose, and I'm going to use this new version board. Okay. So that's that one. I also did build the guys in the build group. Thank God they found this cool port on the board that allows you to do the 8 port, and I think it's 8 and stereo out as well. I did go ahead and build that, and I think these are pans maybe for each of the 8. I can't remember exactly. I think they're pan channels to pan each of the 8 channels out, each of the 8 voice cards. I did build this, so we're going to use that. I'm excited about that. Really excited about that, actually. But the problem is I've been doing a lot of surround sound work with my mixer, which is eating up my mixer channels for outputs. So burning 8 inputs on my mixer is, because I have 24 channel, it's going to be a little bit hairy. Anyway, it's another story. Let's see. What else do we got? We got this board. This is the, I don't know what it's technically, power board. That's what I was going to call it. So this is just the power board, and that one, I don't think anything really has changed. I think there was an error on this one, and I did follow the guidance to fix some wrong component on here or what have you. So that one should be done as well. This is that, let's see, what is this thing actually called? I think it's controller board is what it might be called. No, they call this hardware board. So this is the hardware board, whatever I was calling it before. This is the one with the knobs and things. I have those buttons and things. They're just sitting in there right now. They would just kind of fall out. They're kind of stuck, but they could fall out. And as you can see, like these are the 2 rows of LEDs I need to do over here. And this one's the OLED, and then there's a power button and a headphone jack over here that aren't shown. Okay. And then there are a couple, like I said, those diodes and things. So I'm going to work on that. So that's another board. Okay. And then maybe what I'll jump to is this guy. So this, I think this one may be called, what is this one called? I won't guess. Main board, or I don't know what this is called. They don't even have MB, main board. I think this is the main board they call this. Okay, there we go. And this one has been finished for quite a while. This one went really well, I think. Now, this is the one with the version 2 voice cards. There's one resistor that needs to be changed. And I believe that guy is, move this over here. Boy, it's hard to, it's over here. It's right there. It's like a blue resistor. That one's going to be changed out. And my goal today is maybe at least to do this, because I have to go for a jog soon. So I'll be doing that in a little while. But the goal here is to, change out at least that one resistor before my time's up for going for a jog. And then maybe I'll work on more later. Okay. There we go. So that's the main board. Now, let's talk about these guys. Okay. So here, let me put these here and grab these as well. Okay, so what we're looking at next are the 8 voice cards. So these were the original voice cards. And as you can see on this one, if I can get it to focus, my God, I'm bad at doing the camera thing backwards. There, you can kind of see down there in the bottom corner, I can always point to the wrong side. There's the surface mount that I did. And that went absolutely horribly. I'm not going to lie. That was a complete disaster. I think I tried 2 of them, and then I said, hey, I got to stop this. They may actually be somewhat soldered on there correctly. I think they're totally screwed up, though. I tried drag soldering, and it was a disaster. I think I didn't have the iron temperatures correct, maybe, and I also it was weird. It just didn't work. It didn't work out well. Plus, I'm getting a little older. I had real trouble even with a magnifying loop on. I just couldn't see what was going on. So you might be able to see it in the background over here. But I've since gotten a stereo. I've got a stereo microscope, and I have a camera on there. So I should be able to do some of these solders now with the microscope on, so you can see what's going on better, which should be cool. So the goal is I'm not going to build these version 1 boards because I bought the version 2. So it's kind of convenient now. I have a fresh set of boards to blow up. Hopefully not. So what the goal is, I got the new chips and I still have the old chips. I'm a bit sad about using the old chips because they're expensive as just test things, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take hopefully one of them, and I have some practice boards with that pitch of solder, stenciling. And what I'm going to do is take the old chips, 1 or 2 of them maybe, hopefully just 1. And I also got some new equipment for the soldering iron. So I got some of the hoof tip kind of soldering tips. And they also have kind of a concave area in there to hold a bead of solder. I did a ton of research. This is 3 or 4 months ago now, so it's all kind of fuzzy. I got to get back into it. But basically, I got 2 different tip sizes. I'm not sure exactly what I'll need. But my goal, after watching a ton of videos, I think I'm going to still try to hand solder these with this hoof tip with the little reservoir, and kind of, just do each pin at a time under the microscope and see how that goes. I do have a hot air gun. I don't have an oven to kind of heat things up. But the other option is maybe I did buy some solder in a syringe tube. I could maybe, prime the leads, tweezer it in place, and then maybe try a hot gun to solder. If I'm having a terrible time with the hoof tip, I think that's my fallback. Is like, okay, if I start doing the hoof tip and my tests are going horribly and I feel like I'm never going to master it, then maybe I'll fall back and try the hot air. But I've heard that has its own set of challenges as well. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see which one turns out to feel better. Hopefully one of them jive. So there it is. So my goal is to fix that main board. What is it called? The hardware board, I guess, that has all the control knobs on it. Get those lined up and actually finalize that board. In just a second here on the main board, I think I'm going to change out that one thing that I need to change out, which is the resistor. And that is for, by the way, that resistor we need to change out is a change for these new voice cards. It has something to do with the preamp on there and the volume level or something. So I think changing that resistor out will fix volumes on the kijimi. It's either going to be, if I leave the one that's in there now, I think it will be extremely low, or it's either low or too loud. I can't remember which one. I think it's low. But at any rate, if we fix that resistor, it should solve that problem. What else am I missing? Um, I think that might be it. So that's kind of my current goal. So the goal is over. I'm gonna say by, I don't know, who knows. We'll just see. I'm not gonna say any dates because it's gonna be a disaster if I do that. I'll just say as soon as I can here, I'm gonna start, busting this out again. I really want to finish this. I want to use the kijimi. God, it's been so long. I'm kind of over my trauma from it now, and I'm ready to do it. I've been recording a lot recently, working on a new album, so I would love to have this thing around and available to start experimenting with. That said, I think what I'm going to do here is switch over cams, and then I think what we're going to do is try to go ahead and solder in that new resistor. Oh, by the way, let me go ahead and show you that. If I come back to, oops, wrong thing, this view, here we are, and let's say I want to get rid of this thing. No, not that. I want to get rid of this. Okay, this was on somewhere on the kijimi kijimi build group Facebook page, and these were some threads going back and forth, and I screenshotted this, thank God, because I probably never find it on there again now. But they were saying, okay, they made a mistake. Somebody originally said to change out resistor 144 for this new resistor, and I guess it really should be resistor 137, and that's the one I've located. And it should be 150K resistor, and I had ordered one of those, just one from Mauser or DigiKey or somewhere. So this is, and this is what it says. It says that the resistor 137, that should be 150K on the motherboard, he's calling it the motherboard, is the feedback resistor of the 8-voice card summing stage op amp. And I think that translates, the op amps for amplification, I think that translates to kind of volume for the voice cards, which I was saying. So there we go. So that's kind of what we're going to do here in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and mute this, sort out, the cards and things, and kind of set up my station over there. I switched to the microscope by accident, and I noticed there was no feed. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that as well. And then I'll be right back, and we're going to dive into this, soldering. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, here we are. We're back. I switched cameras over. We are at the work desk view here. Not sure if this camera view is gonna be that great. I think we're just gonna go straight to the microscope. We'll see. Here, let me get this going and figure out why this guy. Oh, maybe it was just because it had no light on. So what I'd like to do here, maybe I can pull the mouse over here. This stuff is tricky. Ah, there, it is working. So there's our microscope view. And I'm going to come back to main camera for a second. Hopefully I can change these views from over here with the mouse. We'll see. Okay, so okay. So we got this view. So here we are. Here is this, you know, motherboard or hardware board. I don't know what it's called. At any rate, I know it needs this capacitor. There's a capacitor and two diodes that are not on this one. That's actually the other board. I keep getting confused. I don't want to get all this stuff confused. I kind of have these components laid out a little bit. What I do know this one needs is this 150K resistor. And I do want to make sure I get it in the right spot, so we will revisit that. But I'm going to go ahead and pop this guy out, put it here. And that is, let me just verify, is that 150K? Yes, 150K, quarter watt, perfect. It stinks in here. I actually have this desoldering gun rolling. I'm going to go ahead and turn this fan on. It's going to sound terrible for a second. But the one we want to do, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and we're going to try out this guy. Let's see if we can go ahead and switch over here and see how this guy looks. So we're gonna take a look through the microscope now. There. Boy, that's really crooked. I'll put neon there too. Let's see if we can fix this guy. Boy, that's super terrible. Okay, it's very, why I'm complaining is because the camera angle is very crooked. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can sort that out real quick by messing with this set screw. Okay, that's even worse. Okay, there, we're getting somewhere. I'm going to say somewhere there for today is good. I don't know, I'll sort this out better later. Okay, and then what I'd like to do is go ahead and get this guy decent focus. And get this guy. Okay, so these are both pretty much in focus on your side and my side. Great. Okay, I think I can work like this too. And this polarizer, let's see what this is. Okay, that gets darker. It gets much lighter. I have a polarizing lens on here that helps kill the glares, and boy does it really help. So I'm going to keep it somewhere like that. Let's get on your screen. It looks a lot different through my camera. It's actually, the field of view is much bigger and all those kinds of things, but this is good. So the one we're going to change out is this resistor here, and the way I knew is if I flip this on edge, they had a little schematic on their website, and it was right next to this one and this big capacitor here and this guy, and I could tell I think this is going to be it. So we're going to go ahead and remove this one and then just double check the number on there and make sure it's 137, but I'm almost positive it is. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this guy over. Oh boy, this might be a bit of a challenge. That is definitely it. I think I am going to have to get this guy out of the way and switch back for a second to main camera because this isn't going to fit under here. Maybe for soldering it will, but it won't for this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and just desolder this guy. And I am absolutely blind now, so I'm going to have to try to figure this whole mess out. Hold on a second. All right. Okay, I think I have the wrong tip on here. That's a bummer. Let's see if I can just make this work. No, I'm going to screw this up if I don't watch it. So, this is the wrong tip, which is a bummer. I have to try to replace this guy with something smaller. Okay, let's see here. Can I? Oops, I'm running over my headphone cables now. Let's try this guy. I think it might be better. I think that's what it's meant for. I think I had too large of a tip on there is what was going on. So we're gonna try this guy. See if I can do this without. Because this thing is going to be like, 500 degrees still. Here, hold on a second. Hopefully we don't melt our board or anything. I think my tip. Oh, there it is. Make sure I don't get burnt. There we go. Okay, there. We got our new tip in. I'm going to go ahead and preheat that guy, turn the iron back on. Is it on? Where's the, there's the light. Wait for that to go ahead and get ready. And let this guy cool off over here and not burn anything. Alright. It sort of took some of the solder off, but not too much. Yep, it's hot. Let's try it. It says it's ready. I'm skeptical, but... I think we got it. Let's see. Now I gotta find some tweezers. Oh. Nope, that guy still seems like it's set in there pretty good. shoot. Okay, well, we're getting somewhere because this one's loose now. I don't want to lift the pad. That's what I'm really trying not to do here. But at the same time, it is loose. But it's still caught somewhere. Okay, there. The wiggle did it. And it looks like our pads are still intact, which is great. Okay, we got this one out. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this one in. Yeah, and you can't see it there. Maybe I won't worry about it, but it is resistor 137, so that is correct. Okay, so I'm going to get this guy in here. Put it back down in there. Get it nice and pretty and flush. Okay, there we go. And for this one, I'm definitely not going to use the red thing because just don't need it. Okay, so now that we got that, I'm going to go ahead and kick on my soldering iron. I'm going to turn off the desoldering tool. Okay, there we go. Let's get this guy going. Let's try switching back to the microscope. It would be fun to be able to use the microscope for one of these solders. Let's see what we can do. Okay, let's switch back to our microscope view. Nope, wrong thing. Well, I can't see anything from there. Oh, there we go. There we go. Great. Okay. Focus is a little wonky. We get focus better. There we go. Okay, the focus is great now from my viewpoint. How about your viewpoint? A little, let's go just a little bit more. There we go. That looks pretty good. Either way we go there, it's going to look good. Okay, good. So let's see. Now I have some work room. I think I do. Great. Okay, so our soldering iron is primed up. Let's look at our tip if I can get it in here. Ooh, it looks pretty manky. Let's get some solder. I'm going to go ahead and tin the tip. Clean that guy up again. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try to solder this guy now. Boy, I have never used a stereo microscope to solder, so this is quite weird. Well, that was quite a shitty. It really stuck to the... I haven't used this iron in a while, so... My tip actually looks quite shitty underneath this. Should be using some Okay, there we go. Not bad, not great. Oh man, the whole using the microscope to do this is super weird. Why don't I follow my advice and find my flux pen? That seems like that would be a somewhat smart thing to do, yeah? So let's do that. Because, boy, this doesn't want to do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and flux this one up because it's kind of dirty and all that stuff. Here we go. I don't know if you need to shake these or not, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Oh boy. We're going to get some flux on there. Going to go ahead and tin my tip up again. A bunch of solder on there. Try to get it nice and clean. Oh my god, that piece of ball solder is not good. I have like shaky Gus hands here. My god, I've never had this much trouble soldering. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, doesn't even want to melt it. It's like turning into fucking mush. It's so weird. Never had that happen before. Thank God. Finally got a little action there. Not the obviously super ugly solders, but what a nightmare that was. Okay. So why don't we, I have some alcohol here now. Let's go ahead and try to clean that up. Hold on, I have some swabs in the other room. Okay, back. Okay, I got a little alcohol. Let's try to clean this thing up. Never did this either. I never actually had alcohol on hand, and I've actually never cleaned up solders after I've soldered. I've actually, usually most of the stuff I do, I don't even need flux. I just kind of solder it and it's been, you know, pretty okay. But this kind of stuff are really my first dives into using flux all the time and stuff. So just trying to, maybe we'll try to clean some of this up. I clean this board up. I was thinking about maybe going through and trying to clean up more of this stuff, like take the flux off from you know, soldering previously. But seeing how it's discoloring the board like this, I don't know if it's worth it. 'Cause it looks kind of nice without it all discolored. I don't know how much damage stuff like this amount of flux is doing. It doesn't seem like it's that bad, so I may just leave that. I don't know, but that's looking pretty good now. So I'm going to go ahead and trim those off. Boy, this is ultra weird doing it on a microscope. Okay, there we go. There's one. There's two. Oh, there we go. So, repair complete, I guess. Doesn't look too bad. Let's flip this guy over now. Kind of cleaned it up. I mean, maybe I should be getting that gunk off there. Maybe I should be doing a lot more alcohol. I'm not sure. I may revisit that. But for right now, I'm going to call that good. On this side, if I can find the piece, there it is. That's the 150K resistor that I just replaced. It is in there now, and we should be good to go. It looks like from this side that the solder took hold pretty well. Let me see, can I focus that in a little more? I guess that's not really doing it, is it? Get a little closer or something. Oh, there we go. Not bad. So looking pretty good. I'm going to call that good for now. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back here and I'm going to kill this fan. Super loud, nasty. Okay, there, we're back. Here, let me get these off. Woo! Man, I hate wearing these things. They drive me crazy. Wish I had something cooler. All right. That looked great, though. That was not fun. my soldering iron was in shit shape after not using it for a long time, but it worked. We got it done. It wasn't the prettiest solder ever, but it looks like we fixed it. So I don't know what time it is, but I do need to go running soon. So I think I'm going to leave this stream here and call this good. So what we've done is this is our main board or motherboard. I don't know what you want to call this. It has the main processor on it for the Kijimi. But I'm going to leave this here. We just replaced the 150K resistor number 137 on that board for the new version 2 voice cards. So next steps, next stream, what am I going to work on? I don't think I'm going to dive into the voice cards yet or practicing the surface mount. Obviously my soldering iron here and some other stuff need a little maintenance. Maybe I'll switch out tip or something, do a new tip or clean it up. But I think what I'm going to do is work on that, whatever they call it, the main board or the hardware board rather, that has all the knobs and everything, the control knobs. And I'm going to see if I can finalize the alignments and then get the other missing components onto that board. I'd like to kind of finalize that hardware board and finish it. And then all I'll have left now after I finish the hardware board is all the voice cards. Then I'll practice the surface mount stuff with the microscope here, and then I'll try to finish off the voice cards. Hopefully, by the end of the month and get this thing actually up and running. Fingers crossed. All right, so I guess I'll switch back here for a second. Okay, we are back here at the main computer. Okay, let me switch views here back to our main camera. There we go. So we're back. Thanks. I hope this is helpful for somebody out there building the Kijimi. I know somebody wrote me recently and was asking if I was going to finish, so hopefully this will work and finish this up. I hope everyone out there working on one of these sticks with it and completes it as well. I hope I complete mine. I want to use it bad. So I'll see you guys in the next stream. Take care out there. I hope everyone's doing well. So long.